Right, let's start streaming. And just go live on Facebook as well as YouTube. And on Axiom Curb too. God bless him. Thank you, PJ. So I'm going to go live. Oh, I better put a title in, eh? Put a title in on Facebook. Trapped by the EU, yeah? That's the question. And that's Daily Chaos. Oh. Good. Yeah, trapped in the EU. Okay, all right. So I'll go live on Facebook too. And we're live on YouTube and on axiomcurb.org. So cool. Lovely. If you're watching an archive, coming up in about 9 minutes, the show, yeah? So in the meantime, I don't know. Well, I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, okay. Ciao. All right. Oh, that's the music. There we go. Pull yourself together, man. Who knows why? He might tell us. I'll tell you.
Fast forward a year or two.
Here we go.
Friends have changed, but so can you. So can you.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get Brexit.
For too long about the mistakes. While I resent, I learned to hate. Forgot your name.
God, he sounds depressed.
Holding on. I know I'm. Oh, I know I'm holding on to this.
Oh, here we go.
Holding on. Don't let me repeat it.
not going to tell us, is he?
Holding on to this. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on. Holding on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that'll do. Blimey. God, miserable bastard. Tell you what. Oh. There we go. 3-4 minutes, folks. Nabby-pabby. Stab. Go, that's more like it. Crying out loud. Let's get the show on the road. 3 minutes. Okay, come on, crying out loud. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Evening all. Welcome to the Daily Chaos. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. I'm Olly Connelly. Thanks for turning up. And now, trapped. Yeah. Trapped in the EU. Was enacting Article 50 a cunning plan for the UK to recognise EU law? David Robinson from Practical Lawful Dissent says that, far from achieving any kind of Brexit, we're being sold down the Rhine. I'll be taking calls on Discord for David at the bottom of the hour. guv.li/rant. I'm assuming the comments. If you want to bug us a beer, big cheers. You can paypal.me/Brexit. Thank you. You can share the show, like the post, all that stuff. Yeah, let folks know that we're talking, we're watching, we're thinking, we are active. Yeah, bit of a thought-provoking show today, actually, with David Robinson. David, are you there, sir?
I am here, yes, sir.
Cool, bless you. Back on the show. Very grateful. Oh, blimey. This was like the local elections, man. Right. Okay. So, yeah, never got rid of the chicken. Okay. David, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Quite an interesting one last time you were on, as I recall. And who knows, maybe be memorable again today. Let's go and have a quick look and do a bit of scouting around FakeStream, first of all, just to see what they're on about today. So here we go. The papers are, of course, all talking about the Iran nuclear agreement that Trump has pulled out of. Middle East plunged into uncertainty after President announces US withdrawal from deal that was backed by other Western powers. Prime Minister joins with France and Germany to express regret and concern and fears of new conflict and disruption to oil supplies. Yeah, indeed. Price of oil is going up also because of the situation with Saudis and Yemen, in Yemen as well. And also, of course, the EU got all sorts of vested interests, and so going to lose a lot of money, basically. So there's all sorts of ways of looking at this. I don't know if you've been following it at all, David, this deal. What is Trump's actual gripe with the Iran deal?
It's no good asking me that, mate. I've not been keeping up with current propaganda bullshit, to be honest with you, because it's all fear porn and distraction from, what's really going on, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, in our backyard, absolutely, completely. It is. But anyway, maybe we'll do a show on it. Do you think it's entirely distraction? What's going on there? It is really deep state stuff, isn't it?
It's all part of the bigger agenda, obviously. But basically, yes, it is. It is a distraction. Everything that they show you on the TV, they want to see. Nothing is leaked, really. It's just a big show. It's about time we sort of started realizing what's going on in our country, other than what they're telling us is going on.
Okay, well, all of the papers have basically led on that story by the looks of it. And there you go. And then Daily Mail, betrayal of our soldiers again. Fury as ministers axe plans for amnesty over historic killings in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland veterans, some in their 70s, face the risk of prosecution following a U-turn by ministers yesterday. That would make an interesting show, actually, if anybody knows anybody that would care to talk about that. Yeah, okay, all right. So that's basically it. Lords, okay, Lords take wrecking ball to Brexit was the Daily Express. Fury erupted last night as members of the Lords were accused of taking a wrecking ball to Brexit. And I covered that on the show yesterday, as you know. Okay. And I did think this was interesting in the Independent today. Corbyn declines to support plan to keep UK in single market. Let's take a quick look at that. The Labour leader's spokesman said elements of the single market are problematic for Mr. Corbyn's plans for government. Jeremy Corbyn's office has signalled that the Labour leader will not throw his weight behind a proposal to keep Britain in the single market after Brexit. His spokesman said keeping the UK in the single market as it stands could undermine Mr. Corbyn's plans to intervene in British industry and reverse privatisation if he wins power. And absolutely, the EU, there were stories, I didn't cover this yesterday, but there was a story yesterday that the EU was concerned at what Labour might do in terms of bringing things back into the national domain. His spokesman said keeping the UK in the single market as it stands could undermine Mr. Corbyn's plans to intervene in British industry and reverse privatisation if he wins power. It came after Labour peers in the House of Lords defied Mr. Corbyn's will and voted for an amendment to the EU withdrawal bill to effectively keep the UK in the single market through membership of the EEA, the European Economic Area, and EFTA, the European Free Trade Area. Is that correct? Sorry, David, did I get that right? Setting up a Commons vote on the matter in coming weeks. David, so this is interesting, isn't it? There seems to be this standoff, or rather this gulf reopening between the Corbyn take on the EU, if you like, the more what we had thought was a Bennite type stance, at least when he was a young leader, and before he was the leader, and the Blairites on the other side, and the Blairites, of course, that dominate the House of Lords. So you could argue possibly Corbyn is a more true Brexiteer than, well, this Prime Minister.
Yeah, Ollie, that he wouldn't even be there if he was really a threat to the status quo, would he? Corbyn is just misdirected. Does he ever mention treason?
Now, hold on, David, please speak a bit closer to your microphone, sir. I know that you're leaning over a laptop there, and I don't want to give you a cricknet over the course of the show, but we really want to hear you too. Sorry, you were breaking up there.
Okay, well,
That's
basically, Morgan is sorry, we're on like Corbyn. He's controlled opposition as well, but he's just going to misdirect people and keep the status quo in place. That's what they all do, and they always have someone like their favourite towards the people, but they're not. And has Corbyn spoken anything about the treason that's being committed?
No, not a word.
Well, there you are. Not a word, of course not, because that's what they don't want to be looking at. Most people don't realise what treason is and what it means to us individually. Am I still breaking up?
You are a wee bit, yeah. You're better than you were initially, but you are a tiny bit. Do want you heard
it's really
tonight,
annoying to listen to someone who's breaking up. Why can't we get this right?
Oh, blimey. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Okay. You want to call me on Skype, don't you?
Well, I don't have Skype, so...
well, look, I'll tell you what. If I give you a number, you can call me from a national number.
I don't have the money. I'm being really oppressed by the state.
Look, let's just do the best we can. You're not breaking up too badly. Just get as close to that microphone as you can. But right. You're saying that Corbyn, because it did look, the whole process of his election, it did look that he absolutely was, it wasn't going to happen. Somehow it did. He has, off the back of the last general election, managed to gain a real power in the NEC now, to the point that, what are they called? Not militant, but whatever they're called. It has more power than the Blairite faction in the NEC now, I guess. And he seems to have that we didn't. How on earth did that happen? I mean, you're saying you're saying that actually he was controlled all along, or that he's been, in your opinion, he's now being threatened, or what's the deal there? What's the deal? Because he didn't seem to be a typical controlled opposition candidate.
Well, of course they don't. They never do. They always come up from the back, from the people, if you like. They know very well how to manipulate public consciousness and perceptions. They've been doing it for generations. So they're very good at what. So, if Corbyn is talking about truth here, he doesn't talk about the Constitution. He doesn't talk about treason being committed with Brexit and PESCO.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the fundamentals. He doesn't talk about the court system, which is corrupt as hell. There are no real land, and it talks about that, do they? But without there being a properly convened courts run by the people, judged by the people, corporations who are able to nullify legal government statutes, then we cannot be classed as being policed by consent in our country, can we?
No, we can't. No, absolutely we can't. I'm just trying to pull up comments on Facebook, which is being a bit problematic right now. For some reason, it's being very sluggish. Because I want to see if people can hear David. Because you are breaking up, sir, quite a bit. But anyway, yeah, I have got some comments now. That's very kind of you, Facebook. It's probably the connection. Simon Dawson, yes, you are breaking up. David Wolf, Corbyn is simply playing the game for public support. Thomas White, Corbyn is saying anything to change people's views on him. Corbyn is a snake. Let's see if I can pull up some. Oh, look at that. That's the wrong strap. That's yesterday's strap. Oh, dear. Okay, let me see if I can show the chat here. Yeah. Oh, no, it's gone now. It's gone. I can't see the Facebook comments again. How very annoying. Okay. So, Lopi. Oh, has gone. David Laddie. Anyone else's comments not showing up on Facebook, says David Laddie. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, me. I'm having to keep refreshing the page, David, to get the comments so that I can read them. And yeah, Yvonne Tierney, the EU are going to lose money. And now the comments are gone again. What is it with Facebook then? I don't know. Blimey. Fake book. Right. Yeah. John Middleton, don't be sniffing your farts and bra if you bring them in my direction. Cheers, John. Okay, right. Yeah. More fake stream, yeah. The Express, David, again, we'll get your opinions on one or two of these things. Juncker outrage, chief Eurocrat's speech at Flemish Parliament provokes a furious response. Oh, this could be funny. We could do with a laugh. Jean-Claude Juncker's address to the Flemish Parliament was met by a furious response from one of the institution's leading politicians, Tom van Grieken, who accused the European Commission president of erasing the identity of the European nations. Okay, let's have a listen to this. This is Juncker.
I think that Belgium has, as has been the case in the past, found a prime minister who is dedicated to the European cause. And if I could say the same thing about all prime ministers, then I think would be in a position which is far better than the one we're in at the moment. I see Prime Minister Michel working in the council. I've met with him and spoken to him personally, and I'm
looks like somebody was sick on his tie.
By, how well he knows his
probably after they drank half the wine cellar that we're paying for.
Of responsibility, and I'm sure that.
Oh, shut up. Right, the nationalist leader of Vlaams Belang berated Mr. Juncker with a series of scathing tweets as he spoke to his colleagues in the Flemish Parliament. Mr. Juncker was on a 2-day tour, speaking at two of Belgium's regional parliaments, Wallonia and Flemish. The Commission president faced a more testing appearance at the more hostile Flemish institution on Wednesday, May the 9th, compared to his Walloon experience the previous day. Attempting to win over sceptical Flemish representatives, Mr. Juncker said, "I'm against the EU becoming a United States of Europe. It was only about 2 months after the referendum when that was precisely, he stood up and said what he wanted. We love our national traditions, our countries of birth. We must not get the impression that the EU is a process of destatization. It's a bad concept. We must fight. He's been precisely fighting for that. This, while Mr. Juncker, anyway, bloody hell. I tell you, David, it's incredible. They just make it up as they go along. Sounds like the Catholic faith.
Of course they do. That's exactly why I don't even listen to it. It's just a waste of time. It's change rubbish. I'm not interested in there. It's just misdirection again. Stop that crap. Let's start resolving what's going on in our country. And that's what we need to really start doing now.
But how can we, David, when these guys, this media crowd doesn't address it? I mean, even the Express, it's supposed to be, I know they've been bought now by some libtard organization or something, but maybe the Saudis, or that's the Independent, I think is owned by the bloody Saudis or something now. They even these guys, they do talk about FCO 301048 occasionally. I mean, I think I've seen them print the story maybe 3 times in total, and that's it, really. That's even the Express. So how can we hope to get the message out?
Well, I think the real message people really should focus on now is the fact that the police are acting as the gatekeepers, keep allowing this government to carry on criminal activity. You see?
Yeah, oh, blimey, your connection is so bad.
Well, look, let's leave this show.
That is better. No. If when you speak into your microphone, it's better. Look, would you do me the honour of moving your laptop?
I'm just speaking at a laptop here.
Yeah, I know. There is a microphone in there. That's why I can hear you.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Aye. Okay, if you bring the laptop, cuddle the damn thing, please. No. If you basically put your mouth as close to the screen as possible.
No, because I'm getting that nasty electromagnetic radiation from that screen.
Oh,
sorry, I'm not doing that. You can always call me up on a telephone.
Truth. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Let me see if these other guys want to join in on this chat as well, because at least maybe we'll be able to hear them a little bit. Jeff, are you there? And we've got Stuart here. Stuart?
Jeff, you there? Yeah, how's it going, buddy?
Okay, we've got Jeff with a bit of echo, but I think he sorted that out. Yeah, and we've got James Gore as well.
Hello, everybody.
To keep us on topic. Predator. Sorry. Oh, Stuart's gone. Okay, all right. Let's just do the best we can. And blimey. So David is now not on Discord at all. So that's a bit of a pain. I'll tell you what. He was going to tell us how enacting Article 50 was a trap. Gentlemen, seeing as there's no ladies on the show at the moment, and please call in on guv.li/rant. He can't now because he was just breaking up so badly, I guess, and hopefully he's going to try.
Usurped over authority back in 2001 since the invocation of Article 61 of the Magna Carta when the barons petitioned the Queen.
I just got to say, let me just say something, people. People talk about getting the message out. If you haven't even got a microphone that works, then how the bloody hell are we going to get the message out? Because I think David Robinson has got a lot to say. I think he's got a hell of a lot to say. He was on this show, and it was a cracking show. Daily Brexit he was on. It was a cracking show. It was quite a controversial show. Graham Moore was on it as well, and he lost his rag, did Graham. It was quite funny, actually. But anyway, David kept his poise, and his points were superb. The guy's got a brilliant mind. He has a lot to offer. But he hasn't got a bloody microphone, and so he's not got anything to offer. We have to sort out our media bloody communications, people. If we haven't got a voice, if we can't take advantage of the technology at hand, we're a bunch of idiots. And David ain't no idiot. Somebody help him, please, please. Somebody help David Robinson with his tech.
What people did?
Get him back on the show. If somebody out there can please get in touch with David Robinson and get him somehow sorted out with his tech, I'd appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Brand new mic.
I'm sick of being a telephonist. Yeah, I'm fed up of being a bloody telephonist. No disrespect to telephonists, but I'm trying to just, think about some good questions and, sort out the comments, having to refresh bloody Facebook denying us the comments, all of that stuff without having to worry about a bloody phone because somebody hasn't got their microphone sorted out. David Robinson, God bless you, sir. Let's try and sort this out at least. Try and sort it out another time. Excuse me having a rant, folks, but I'll tell you what, it's a pain. It's so frustrating. We've got such a good message, such an important message.
Let's have a whip around, get him a new microphone and get him down on.
Oh, blimey. Am I being a bit silly? I don't know. Am I being a bit silly, Jeff? Jeff, you guys have set up Axiom Curb. Tell me about Axiom Curb because you've just started streaming this show on it as well, and I'm really grateful to you. Tell us about Axiom Curb, mate. What are you doing with that?
I thought you wanted to know about the European Union. I was going to say about
no bugger the European Union. I tell you, we know the deal with the European Union, don't we?
Well, I think it's important for people to realise that Article 51 basically leaves their options open because if you just do Article 51, which is what they've done, it means that at any point in the future they can go back into the European Union.
By standing under Article 50, you're giving that authority over the Constitution.
Well,
that's what David said last time.
If they'd repealed the 1972 Community Act, it means we would have been out and no way back in. What they're doing is just leaving their options open.
Take nothing away from the people who voted, though, but it is a trap.
Somebody's got a massive echo. Who's got the echo? Is that you, Toby?
It's not me.
I don't know. I've just given up.
I haven't got the echo.
Lost the will to broadcast.
We're living up to the daily chaos.
All right, Ollie.
Oh, Lopi. How are you, darling? How are you doing?
Better, but I made it in.
I hope you're all right. I know you've been going through the wars. Are you feeling all right?
I was just finally again tomorrow, but I'll be fine.
Okay. Your audio's terrible too, by the way. I'm not going there again. I'm not. No, James, yours is always awful, but as long as you don't sing, it's fine.
What?
Okay, we've got Lawful Rebel here. David's here. David Robinson's back in the studio. David, tell me you can hear me.
Am
David.
I here now?
Yes, you're here. Oh, good.
Well, I didn't do anything, so I don't know how I left and how I came back on.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Okay, well, you're back. That's the main thing. And we've got Alex. Yeah, we've got my co-host, my sometime co-host. Yeah, when he wants to be, Alexander Sangmore here as well. Now, I'll pop him in and I'll ask him to behave. Yeah, I'll ask him to behave. Alex, behave, sir. It's really good to have you around. And now I'm really full of trepidation. God knows where we're going with this show. We've got James Gore and Alexander Sangmore here. Right. So, okay, please, before we get cut off again, David, explain to us what is the problem with enacting Article 50? Why is that a trap?
Because it is treason. Because what we're doing is we're granting authority to the European Union's Article 50, the Lisbon Treaty.
Ollie, you need yourself a
Hold on, Alex, please.
There's an echo.
Okay, put up with it, please. Just put up with it.
Okay,
Sorry. David, carry on.
This is really difficult medium, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. No, I'm going to kick everybody out until we'll have a bit of a chat. I'll kick everyone out and I'll bring them back in a minute because that way there's guaranteed no echo as well. But yes, so what is this problem with Article 50 that's got your hackles up?
Okay, it was always set up to be a trap. Do you understand that bit for a start?
No. Assume I'm being totally stupid, please.
Okay.
Which isn't far
Well,
from the truth.
You see, most people don't realise what treason is. High treason is to grant foreign authority over British law. Okay, because the coronation oath specifically is an oath for a constitutional monarch to govern the country, not rule it, but to govern it according to the people's law and customs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you grant Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty authority to exit the European Union, then you've just broken British constitutional law by doing so. The fact is that it's evidence in the Public Records Library, in the Public Records Office, that Edward Heath lied to the British electorate and he committed sedition and treason when entering us into the European Economic Community back in 1973, the 1st of January of.
Yes.
So, everything else is misdirection. It is a trap because you're granting the Lisbon Treaty with authority over Britain by doing it. And this is how they trap us into our own kind of, it's doublethink. They know how to manipulate us. They know how we don't get doublethink often.
I don't think anybody really disagrees with that, no. So well, anybody that understands, that knows about the FCO 301048, I don't think that they disagree with that, do they?
Well, no, because the evidence is clear. Edward Heath knew very well that it would be look, you can read the Kilmer letter that was sent to Edward Heath.
What is the problem? What problem does that present us with then?
Well, the problem is it presents us with granting the EU with authority, which it will always retain.
Yes, but you're saying that by enacting Article 50, we have recognised EU treaty, specifically the Lisbon Treaty, and therefore we are recognising EU law. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, but more than recognised, what we've done is we've ignored British constitutional law, that it's actually treason to grant any authority to the Lisbon Treaty as it is to any of the EU treaties.
But could it not be, treason or negligence?
High treason. If to do that in full knowledge of the fact that you're doing it is high treason at common law. To speak about,
look, I agree with you. Let me be clear. I agree here, but I'm playing devil's advocate. Is there not an argument to say that this document was hidden away for 30 years? That there is a possibility that there were successive governments that really didn't realise that we were going to we were giving up our sovereignty. That it was known that it was. But that does not excuse the Heath's government having taken us in under false pretenses. But does it not give some kind of what's the word? For successive governments to pretend that they didn't know anything.
No, no, because there's been people trying to bring this to awareness for many generations. We can go back quite some time. When I first got into the movement, it was Norris McGuirter, Rodney Atkinson, and a load of people going around the country informing the farmers of what was actually going on regarding the treason at Maastricht at the time. And it's been happening for generations. And the whole reason why it's been allowed to continue is basically because the police are acting as the gatekeepers. Now, if people know what we did back in last November.
Hold on a sec. Sorry. Hold on. We've gone now from the what you're saying, and I agree, is a corrupt political class to a complicit police.
Well, yes, because that's the inherent problem we have here. Whilst we, the people, allow the police to ignore the treason evidence, which we've served on the police, we've got evidence of doing this. And we're not the only one. I mean, there's other people that have provided the treason evidence to the police. Yes. Whilst that continues, we will never remedy this situation. We will never do it. And people should be really outraged that the police are doing this.
Why?
It's outrageous.
What is wrong with the direction that, let's assume that we do come out of the customs union, that we do regain full control of our borders, and that we have freedom to trade with whomsoever we please, and carve a new trade deal with the EU and sort out the Northern Ireland border off the back of that, probably. If we were to do that, i.e. true Brexit, really, then what's the problem?
Because it's never going to be that way if you grant the Lisbon Treaty with authority, is it?
But you could argue it's irrelevant. If we're coming out of Europe, we're coming out of Europe.
No, because we're ignoring...
if we're coming out of the EU, not Europe. I apologise.
No, but we're not, because we're ignoring British law and granting the European authority. That's not coming out of anything. That's just going further into the minefield.
How is it going more into the minefield if we extrapolate our legal and various systems from theirs?
Well, because it's never going to happen if we don't observe the common law. Well, we were not, the common law isn't being observed, is it, by the so-called authority figures?
No, I agree with you. I have to say, I think that irrespective of whatever discussions we're having with the EU, we should equally be considering how was our government allowed to commit treason against the British people and it be covered up for decades and being covered up to this day. Where are the questions in the House? There's never been a question, has there? Sorry, David. Can I just clarify with you, sir? There's never been a question in the House about the FCO 301048, yeah?
Well, of course not. Obviously not.
That would make a good petition, wouldn't it? That would make a good petition for that point to be raised in the House. That would make a good petition.
No, Ollie.
Go on.
You're not getting it.
Go on.
What we've got in the Houses of Parliament and in the House of Lords are usurpers. We have treasonous individuals operating outside of the law. That's what we've actually got. Let's look at the facts here now, shall we? None of them are standing under the common law. None of them are protecting our constitutional common law rights to justice via a proper enabled juries in proper established common law courts. And if we do not establish that one basic fact, we will not see justice being done in our country again, ever. Because you see, it's the people that judge the laws of our land. And that's why the situation's got to the situation it has now, where everything is criminal, because the juries have been usurped for many, many generations now.
Okay, I'm going to bring a few folks into this conversation slowly now. First of all, a couple of comments. Christine Ford, they ignore it in the House because they would be admitting to treason. David Laddie, how do we go about doing a Cromwell? Stav Woodcutter, common law usurped by the Norman legal system since 1066. What would you say to that, David?
Yes, you can go back a long, long way. I'm not going to go that far back because it just makes it more complicated. But I just go back to the 1911 Parliament Act, which basically usurped the Constitution, a constitutional monarch. And we can go back a lot further.
Tell us about that, please. Tell us about that 1911 Act, because that was very key, as I understand it. No.
Well, yeah.
And how did it come about? It came about because of a king's gambling debts or something. No.
It was just part of the Greater Deception. 1688 Bill of Rights was another statute which was treasonous, in fact, and not part of our constitution, even though most of us actually thought it was. And I've recently learnt this fact from reading Ken Dewdney's book, Democracy Defined, which is a very good read. And he's done some specific blogs on the tragedy of Bill of Rights, the treason Bill of Rights, and it's worth a look because the estates have always been there. They've been trying to usurp the British common law since 1215 when it was sealed in Runnymede. And they did it in 1297 when they brought it all into statute and then repealed most of the Magna Carta and tried to claim that was legitimate. That ended real Magna Carta, which it didn't. And the deception has gone on so long now; it's generations old, and we need to really look into it. But try not to go too far because it gets quite complicated as you go down through the ages with all.
We need to buy this man a headset. I'll tell you what, we really do. Christine Ford says, what does David think should have happened instead of Article 50?
Well, I think the police should have looked at the treason evidence that we have provided them over decades now and acted upon the law. Basically, if they'd have arrested the people that we have evidence for committing treason, aiding and abetting treason, misprision of treason, and other very serious crimes, we would have justice by now. We would have the common law up and running in the de jure court.
The people that are treasonous unto this nation and are Europhiles and have the interests of those whose pockets they get their pockets lined by certain people. And we have the data and archives on who lines their pockets. And there's going to be a mass awakening of the British public to who is a traitor and who is not. Suffice it to say, if the British public woke the fuck up tomorrow, they could drown these people in their urine, is all I'm saying.
Okay, I've got a few comments I can pull up from Facebook. Helen Lasky-Smith says, I posted many times to repeal the EEC 1972 law. I was given the information and kept repeating it, and I expect that many of you may remember, so my contact was correct. Helen Lasky-Smith also says, how uncanny, Olly, I was wondering if we were sold out because of all the properties owned by Arabic countries over here. A50 was a trap. I posted it at the time. Roger Arthur, who's been on the show, awesome. In fact, I'm very much hoping he's going to come on very, very soon, told me that we're talking at the moment. Were told me that TM, Theresa May, was leading us into a trap with Article 50, and I posted it. I'm trying Discord again, but if I'm not around, then someone will help me out. Another technophobe, Helen.
Can I respond to this briefly?
Please, Alex. Alex Sangmore.
Okay. So a brief rundown. As far as I'm aware, and I could be wrong, the conditions of Article 50 have not been triggered, meaning that nothing is finalized until it is actually finalized.
Yes.
Now, it's very simple. If the British public do not like the end result of Article 50 when we leave the EU, we will boycott the living crap out of the EU. Just like we boycotted their garbage fiat currency, we will also boycott their products. Now, they can't have that because a lot of the money that Europe gets comes from one of its largest former economies and contributors, the United Kingdom of Great Britain. So if they want to shoot themselves in the foot to the point that they have no foot left and it requires immediate amputation, bite hard on the rope and scream, with or without anesthetic, we will be leaving the EU.
David, in your estimation, where are we headed?
Well, it's hard to say, really. It depends on what people what the people decide to do. I mean, we need to come together more. We need to trying to get groups together. Practical Lawful Dissent is aligned with the Common Law Court, which the people have been convening themselves, and the New Chartist movement. So we're trying to, bring people together. And
if you can draft an internet bill of rights, by the way, you will have the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young on your side. You will have the multiplier effect on your side to spread this information everywhere. The think tanks of your movement draft up a bill of internet rights, and we will propagate it. Furthermore, concerning all archives about the Norway thing that you mentioned prior, I am very, very open to increasing the sum of my archives. If you have information, articles, data, and so forth on this, send it all over to me, and I will have eyes and ears upon it. And we do need an internet bill of rights, considering the alt-left tech alliance losing their absolute minds recently. There's been more censorship in the last 2 months than there has been in all of the internet's history.
Yes,
Okay,
and that's only going to continue whilst we allow imposters to
Precisely.
remain in government.
Which is why we need to go to other platforms, never promote the alt-left tech alliance, and the politicians that are traitors to the British nation and the British people and its will with a capital W must be not only confronted, but have a massive, massive spotlight, blindingly so, shown upon them, which is what we do.
I'm putting David's site on. I don't know. You haven't liked the Daily Brexit page, David. That's not good enough. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I can't link to you. Anyway, that's fine. I put it on. I put it at the top of the comments there, or at least yeah, there you go. Can I pin it? I can't.
Facebook is a shitty platform. It sells all your data.
It's
nothing,
anyway.
Literally zero, nothing, zilch, nada on Facebook is private. None of your data on there is private. See Cambridge Analytica archives.
It's on YouTube too. So there you go.
There's
That's Practical Lawful.
Was ass clenching in Congress when asked about the extent to which he has illegally sold people's private data.
Yeah. So right. So basically, David, it all boils down to whether or not we can come together. Yeah, damn right. Okay, fine.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
History proves it as well. You know, when the weight of the people stand as one. We are the power in this country. And may I say earlier, people really have to stop saying that Corbyn or May or whatever have been voted into power. They're supposed to have been voted into service.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference.
That's lovely. Yeah, damn right.
Witnessed and archived this statement. Much appreciated.
We've got David Wolf popped in. Good evening, David.
Good evening, Ollie.
How are you, man? What would you like to say?
Yeah, I totally agree with everybody else on the show that the triggering of Article 50 and 51 was a trap. It was a way to kick the can down the road long enough to possibly force either a second referendum, which is the living heck out of us, so we submit to the will of EU.
And their attempts to reverse Brexit, indeed.
Yes.
Furthermore, know who is literally hiring people to reverse Brexit. His name is George Soros and Tony Blair, with the Best for Britain centrist, upcoming centrist political party. We will meme them into oblivion for rejecting the will of the British people. They love war and they hate Brexit. Specifically, remember the names: George Soros and the warmonger who has the blood of millions on his hands, Tony Blair.
We also seem to be ignoring a certain other fact.
Right.
We're ignoring the fact that the person that's supposed to protect our constitution has failed to do so. And in fact, I'm talking about the Queen, because the Queen is supposed to, her first duty.
She has no say in the matter, though. She's a slave to Rothschild influence since 1815.
But hang on a sec, she's still our constitutional monarch, and she has signed every one of those EU. So she herself.
Well, she has a gun to her head.
Well, this is what David was saying about the coronation oath, isn't it, David?
Okay, well, if the Parliament Act has basically usurped her power, then should we? Why are we still paying tax?
So hold on a sec. Let me get this straight. If the Parliament Act was the one in 1911, that basically was when the King gave a lot of his authority to Parliament. And Parliament is now basically, we have a parliamentary democracy, so when the Queen, when she swore her coronation oath, does that mean that her oath was worthless, or had the oath changed from what was it, George V's coronation oath?
They've got.
Hold on, David, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I heard that. Well, it's been going on for a lot longer than just the Queen. I mean, when she signed the Coronation Oath Act, she signed it at the top and underlined it. Now, that was a contract. You sign contracts at the end of the wording, and she didn't do that either. It's reported that the Crown didn't want it televised either, but the will of the people overruled the Crown at that time. And so they did televise the Coronation Oath. You can see what she actually agreed to stand by.
there is a bit in the coronation when they do go behind a curtain or something, and I don't know, they look at her boobs or something. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I heard it. I think so. The Archbishop. I don't know. You've heard about the actress and the bishop, but yeah. So okay, all right. So that coronation oath, it could be argued, was null and void before she said a word.
Well, the oath wasn't null and void.
Or benign.
Her taking it was null and void. You know, the thing is, you see, what is a constitutional document? This is what we need to determine here. The constitutional document is something that is agreed to between the monarch or the crown and the people of the day. It doesn't involve Parliament. See, this is why the Magna Carta 1215 and the Coronation Oath Act are constitutional documents. There are a few others, but those are the main ones. And the Declaration, Petition, and Bill of Rights are statute because they were created by government, and deceptively so. I mean, King William and Mary, they weren't that clued up on law and stuff. Apparently, I didn't know them personally, obviously, but so they, you know, and the people were also misled to agree to that. But it was the crown that agreed to it by the government, the will of the government, you see, and that usurped the sovereignty of the nation, really, and granted Parliament sovereignty, which is obviously an oxymoron. You know, it's.
Can I ask David a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, please, Brother Jeff, you wanted to come back on, David. Go on.
Yeah, David, are you aware of the second Grand Remonstrance?
I've not gone into that in any great detail.
Oh, right. It's something that is carried out by people at Stonehenge and running.
Oh, yeah. I've not gone into that in any great detail.
Doesn't that document that they created, doesn't that cancel out all forms of Norman law and Roman law?
Well, if it's the same document I'm thinking of, did they not include the United Nations legislation within it?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think if you look into it, they used the indigenous rights laid down by the United Nations.
Right.
We'll look into it because you see, there again, that's double think, because the United Nations were signed up to in 1948 by imposters in Westminster as well, and those treaties are null and void also. You see.
The United Nations, by the way, was created by one of the 5 most influential oil magnate families in the world. For the $85,000 prize, the girl in the car, what family founded the Rockefeller Foundation? You have 10 seconds. Oof. The United Nations, pardon.
The United Nations.
Say, gentlemen, you should. I see that you're particularly politically aware and active. There is one book that I would recommend to everyone and to your listeners, Olly. It's called The Great Red Dragon or London Money Power, A History of Rothschild Banking in the City of London. And with this, you're going to find out that the Queen and all nobles and all tradesmen and all conglomerates, no one is above the ownership of the Bank of England by the Red Shield family. The Queen has to explicitly ask for permission to see her own gold reserves.
Look,
Prince Charles.
Gentlemen, hold your thoughts just there, please. Hold your thoughts just there. I just want to say this very, very quickly because it's really frustrating. And Facebook keeps losing the comments. Simon Dawson, am I allowed to speak, guys? Simon, you're not on Discord, mate. Come on Discord and I'll pull you in. Get on Discord. You're not on there. And by the way, the other night because I finished the show and you didn't get a chance to speak. So please, yeah. guv.li /rant. Alex, please continue. Sorry, just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Nothing much. Just read The Great Red Dragon or London Money Power, A History of Rothschild Banking in the City of London. I can give you the entire story within, shall we say, 3 to 5 minutes or so. But the book itself is in 3 chapters, and the 3rd chapter talks about what you can do in order to move away from the debt slavery of having a private entity own your banks and put interest and inflation upon the government debt ceiling, which makes us all debt slaves. Not a single pound or that is printed in the United Kingdom belongs to the Queen. It belongs to the Bank of England. And who owns the Bank of England, the Federal Reserve Bank of America, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank? For the $85,000+ question, 2 girls and a car, who owns those 4 banks?
I thought the Bank of England was owned by the Bank of England nominee.
Nope. Who founded them and who has every rights to them?
It would be the Rothschilds.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it work? As an aside, yeah. No, look, hold on a sec. Let's not get drawn into this now. Alex, would you like to do that show on Friday night? The Bank of England. Would you like to do that show on Friday night?
Absolutely. I have a load of archives. That
Okay,
you can put
because
up
I don't. God bless you, sir. I'm gonna say good night to you. Thank you so much, Alex. On Friday. No, I want you to get in the background now because I want to finish up with David.
No worries, my good man.
On Friday, can we do that show? Would you do that show with me on Friday, please? 7:00.
Yes, I will consult with my superiors and make it kosher and the sum of things I state non-haram and so.
All right, mate. No, cool. Yes, I do. My God, I tell you, he's an eccentric. God bless him. God bless you. God bless you, Alexander.
I don't want to get done in by MI5 or Mossad, is all I'm saying.
Probably, I don't know. Jesus, God knows what list we're on. David, how many lists do you think that you're on?
How many what?
Lists.
What,
seriously?
Lists?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. As many. I don't know. What as many as possible. I hope, because that's like a badge of honor, isn't it?
How much interference do you think that there is? Because I mean, for example, I'll tell you what. With Facebook is a joke. You know, here and there. God, people getting blocked, banned. God knows what. How much interference do you think there is outside of social media?
Loads. I've had loads of interference with my entitlements, denying of disability entitlements, non-payment of rent, retaining monies without any real reason to do so, and things like that. So yeah, loads of it.
Have you had the tax man coming after you yet?
Oh no.
Saying, "Oh, you owe us some tax."
I already defeated the tax man a few years ago and made them repay $3,000 to a friend of mine.
Okay, let's take a few comments from YouTube. William of Orange pimped us out to the Bank of England with a loan of 1.3 million squids, says Stav Woodcutter. Do you know anything about that side of things, David, out of interest?
No.
Okay, if they want my vote, my contract terms are 1 million quid for every kiss, says John Middleton. Oh, is that right? Okay. And Paul Rees-Ham, Rothschilds. John Middleton, they only own the corporation name, not the building. Okay, we're going to discuss that on Friday. Tax is an act of war, Paul Hart, and we celebrate it. Yes. Right. Okay. So, David, basically, we need to come together. That's the message. Are we capable of doing it? It seems to me that groups are pretty useless at coming together. That's, frankly, the reason
I think we should all. I think we should all get together and actually look at what we need to do to bring a practical remedy to the matter. And I think the only way we're ever going to do that is if we get the police to observe the law again. And
how can we do that? How can we do that?
Can I just finish, please?
Please.
The only way they're going to do that is if they're more afraid of the people's wrath than they are of their superiors.
Well,
I don't mean going down the police station with burning torches and pitchforks and stuff. No.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is the weight of the people going there and saying, "What the hell do you think you're doing, guys? Here's the evidence of treason. We want you to act upon it. You're not observing the law of our land, and it's going to cost us our rights and our lives and everything. I mean, our lives as well. You've only got to look at the United Nations Agenda 2030 to see where that is evidenced."
Tell us.
Oh, you need to
very briefly, very brief. Just an elevator pitch.
Well, there's going to be people in inner city dwellings. They won't be allowed any private property whatsoever, no access to the countryside, all microchipped. forced vaccinations, that kind of Orwellian kind of situation.
Well, as far as I know, we're in a permanent state of lawful rebellion since that second grand remonstrance was pressed the reset button. If they're not going to get back in their box as public servants and do their work, then we're in a permanent state of.
Is the human? Is the?
Everybody
Are
in
we?
the country has now got the right to be in permanent lawful rebellion until they get back in their box and do their job.
Sorry, are we capable, David? Are we capable of correcting this? Being that the British people, hold on, Lopi, oh blimey, but being that the British people is so divided now.
Well, this is the question I'm asking, because we have the capability of doing it. Can you imagine? There's about 200,000 police constables in our country. Okay, can you imagine 2 million people descending on their local police to say, look, guys, what the hell do you think you're doing? Because I'm really concerned about my future of my country and my children's future. You know, how would we feel if there was 2 million people descending on the police, just getting them to observe the truth? You know, it's not as if we haven't publicly proven that, you know, we've provided the evidence of treason to the Birmingham police headquarters, and they've blatantly ignored us. So they are the gatekeepers to the what's, you know, I'd have Blair on the stand by now. I'd have Theresa May on the stand by now.
Yeah. But it's like we need a Gandhi going to make salt moment.
No, what we really need is people to stop looking for leaders and realize that they are the leaders. We are all leaders of our own, create our own reality.
Yeah, damn
it's
right.
What we do that really matters. Now, it doesn't take a great deal of courage to wander down to your police station and say, look, guys, I found this evidence online about the treason being committed with Brexit or PESCO, or use whatever you want, FCO 10, 3048. And I'm concerned. Why aren't you doing something? You don't have to be confrontational. You can just ask a question. It's not, you know, and anyone can do it that at any time.
When you do that, out of interest, David, what kind of response do you get? Do they look at you quizzically?
You know, it depends how you approach them. You know, I've approached my local police with the corruption going on with the DWP to start with, to let them see that I'm not an unreasonable person, okay? And then I will be going back there again very soon, because there's still things going on that I need to remedy. And I shall be bringing up the treasonous matter, because I've now put the chief inspector on full notice of what's actually going on and my political standing, my lawful excuse to do with not paying council tax, etc. And I've been totally ignored, of course. So, you know, I'm going to be lobbying lobby the Bobby again. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I also pen letters to the Rosicrucian Freemasons, which many of them are part of the police force. By the way, the pressing matter on everyone's mind is, how do we win? How do we win against the forces?
Hold on, Alex. Give me 10 seconds. I'll fade down and then we'll hear this. God bless you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, that's it. We really worked it out, didn't we? This is the Daily Chaos. I've been Olly Connelly. Alex, please, what were you going to say, sir? No, but just David Robinson, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope we're going to do this again. I'll tell you what, please give that guy some money on his website, please. Practical Lawful Dissent. Please, give him some money. He needs some cans. He needs some of these, yeah? That guy needs a headset. We got to start supporting each other, yeah? We got to start supporting each other. This show could do with a few quid too, by the way. Running on fumes as usual. David really is. He needs a bloody headset. practicallawfuldissent.co.uk. Okay, Alex Sangmore, please, God bless you, sir. I'm looking forward to Friday. Now, what were you going to say?
Yes, sir. Very briefly, the means by which you win against these bastards is you educate people. We can drown them in our urine. Let this sink in. Contemplate this. We can literally drown them in our urine. If half of this population in the United Kingdom understood exactly how bad things are, exactly how traitorous the government is being concerning the EU, exactly what the royals are doing on Epstein Lolita Express jet and the child rape island, they would be hanging in the streets.
Alex, mate, God bless you. God bless you, geezer. God bless you. And Friday, yeah? Friday.
Yes, sir. We need the mass awakening to come yesterday rather than tomorrow.
We do. Right. Okay. And I want to say a big cheers to everybody else that popped in on Discord. Thank you very much, David Wolf. And Hive Mind will be on now, yeah, sir?
Yes, it will. I'm just setting it up now.
Good man. guv.li/hive. And we had Lopi and Lopi, thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you, catch up. And Predator Jeff, thank you, Predator Jeff. And good to be on Action Curb with you, man. I'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Oh, blimey, hold on, what's going on? Daryl Goodlift's coming on to talk about, well, I don't know. UKIP, I suppose. You gotta laugh. Blimey. And thank you for everybody in the comments. The glue of the show, you know. All right. Okay. I'm going to have to change this.